In the hushed corners of forgotten history, where echoes sleep and time holds its breath, the Shadowborn Warrior emerged. A being forged not of flesh and bone, but of whispering void and forgotten stars. He was once a mortal soul, chosen by fate's cruel hand, yet cursed by the silent gaze of the stars, reborn beneath a blood eclipse into something neither living nor dead, but suspended in eternal twilight. Wrapped in blackened armor, scarred and etched with the lost runes of vanished gods, he walked in silence through realms unseen by daylight and untouched by mortal eyes. His blades pulsed with arcane hunger, twin sabers forged from condensed starlight, corrupted and coiled in shadow's embrace, forever thirsting for battle. Kingdoms fell trying to wield him, desperate to turn his power into their own. But he bowed to none. He hunted sins too ancient for scrolls to remember. Legend said his soul was fractured long ago, each broken piece hidden in a different plane, sealed away to trap the darkness that stirred within. But one by one, those seals cracked, weakened by time and forgotten vigilance. And when the last one shattered, so too did the fragile piece of the realm. Darkness spilled across the world, thick and unnatural, swallowing light. And from its depths rose creatures shaped from fear itself, born of nightmare and shadow. The Shadowborn Warrior did not flinch. His purpose burned anew, his rage unbound like wildfire beneath ice. He descended into cursed citadels and banished woods, walking paths where light dared not follow, facing horrors long buried beneath existence itself. Each fallen beast gave way to a memory once lost, and with every slain nightmare, a fragment of his shattered soul returned to him, glowing faintly within the dark. The darkness, desperate, retaliated, creating a vessel of its own. The hollow shade, a flawless mirror of the warrior's former self, twisted and cruel. They met beneath a dying moon, where stars refused to shine, sword to sword, shadow against shadow, as time bent and distorted around their fury. The battle raged through dimensions, shattering barriers, tearing through rifts and illusions spun by gods long forgotten. As blade struck blade, the warrior unleashed all he had buried, his pain, his grief, and the defiance that had kept him walking through oblivion. With one final cry that shook the veil between worlds, he cast his darker half into the abyss, reclaiming his full power, but never his peace. The world was saved, but the silence that followed was heavy. The warrior stood alone, victorious, yet hollow. He wandered the lands he once bled to protect, now quiet, haunted places that remembered too well what they demanded he become. Townsfolk watched from behind curtains and cracked shutters, torn between gratitude and fear, unsure whether to thank him or tremble. In every shattered temple, he carved sigils, ancient marks meant to seal the remnants of the dark, in case it stirred once more. He met no cheers, no songs, only echoes. Even his own reflection turned away, as if ashamed to face him. Yet still he walked, because he knew if he ever stopped, the shadows he buried would claw their way back. The gods, watching in distant silence, dared not summon him. They too feared the toll his return would demand, and so the Shadowborn Warrior became the ghost of peace, a sentinel with no rest, walking endlessly through the quiet aftermath. Years became decades. Dust became myth. They called him the last sentinel of the night, a name spoken with awe and fear. Prophets whispered of a time to come when his shadow would brush the stars, and all the realms would tremble once more. In a hidden sanctuary, deep beyond reach, he sealed away his twin blades, but left one rune glowing, pulsing like a heartbeat, a warning, or a beacon. Whispers claim his eyes flare with light whenever the veil between worlds grows thin. An omen, an echo, a child, drawn by a shimmer in the twilight, once followed the glow and saw him disappear into the dusk, silent and real. The balance, fragile as ever, endures not because peace reigns, but because he still watches from the very edge of existence. The Shadowborn Warrior is not gone. He sleeps within Shadow's cradle, patient, eternal, waiting for the thread of fate to stir once more. And when it does, the night itself will rise with him, not as legend, but as reckoning, beneath the world's skin, in the silence where gods dare not tread. The Shadowborn Warrior lingers still. He walks the in-between, a realm of faded time and fractured memory, where stars blink like dying embers and the air hums with forgotten spells. Each step echoes with 1,000 lives once lost, each breath a reminder of battles that broke the world and left him its quiet sentinel. He no longer counts days. Time folds in on itself where he dwells. Shadows stretch without light, and the cold speaks in riddles. But lately, the veil has grown thin. Dreams carry fragments of something stirring, a pulse in the dark, a whisper too ancient to name. Ravens fly with fire in their wings. Storms swirl above sacred ruins. Old runes bleed anew. He feels it in the hilt of his sealed blades, still burning beneath the stone altar, vibrating with hunger, or perhaps warning. Though peace holds, it trembles, and somewhere, beyond the edge of prophecy, beneath the silence of the stars, he watches, not as a savior, not as a king, but as the last wrath the world will ever need.